Record. Puerepäivi, puispa. Mun ainan taas sagastellaan Northern Lights perra saame killi le kuovsa haasat. I see here there some questions about Northern Light. It's called kuovsa haasat in North Sámi, and somebody suggested that it could be Norrsken in South Sámi, but it's not. Norrsken it is in Swedish. So some of the songs on this album by Jon Henrik Fjällgren might be in Swedish, so it's not all of it is not South Sámi. So what is the word in South Sámi? Kuovsa. I'm not sure what it is in South Sámi, but I don't think it's Norrsken at least. Norrsken in Swedish. Okay, so very welcome to the second last lesson in this North Sámi course. Today we will today we will talk about we will look at some at a poem, and then we will talk about diminutive and some more about some cases, and then we will also look at the past tense conjugations, even though in a way they are too difficult for a beginner's course. They are not so difficult, but they are they are a little bit different from the things we already looked upon, and I mean you probably it is probably also difficult to remember all the for the present tense, all the endings. And I also think that I also guess that one of your main things now are to try to learn some words and try to make like 400 or 500 words that you know by heart. That would be a good base, and then it's the difficult thing to choose which words are the good words, and then you could go to UIT, University of Tromsø. They have this frequency word list where you can see which words are more frequent online, but the problem there is that there are so many political texts. So Samedikki is the most normal word in Sami parliament is the most frequent word or so, but maybe it's not the most frequent word when people talk. So puris would be more frequent or something like that, but on the web it's not the same. So, but there is one good book by Pekka Samalahti that is called 1200 Words, and it's a frequency word list made in the 1980s, and I have it somewhere. It's translated to Swedish and printed on Uppsala University. I can try to find it's called Nordsamisk basordförråd. Nordsamiskt basordförråd by Pekka Samalahti, but I'm not sure if you can buy that. You can try to find it, but otherwise it's maybe you can borrow it from some library. If it's maybe you can buy it from Uppsala University. I'm not sure. And there is also an earlier version in Sami called like 1400 Sani, Sani, I think or was it 1200 words? I think it's 1400 words, and it's printed in Sami originally, but it's probably out of stock. So the original title is for 1400 Sami. So should we try to look at, do you have any suggestion for last week's attendance check? Was it difficult? Anybody? Do you remember what it was about? Now I don't hear anybody. Do I have the same problem with the microphone as last week? No, nobody's saying anything. It was fine. It was he usually brings a fish in the spring.
On love Buktagoli Itas.
Wait, I can share screen. I share screen. And then I put here the question, and then we had one suggestion there. Could you repeat it? Or anybody else? Wait, somebody wrote on the chat. To meet is cool. I wasn't there, so it's a bit hard, but I'm catching up. To meet is that, to meet can be teivadit. To meet, oidnalit could also be something like to meet, to see again. Son lave is a suggestion here. Son lave, okay. Son lave. He usually, that is son la. That I think that was the one I was looking for. Oidnaletner, right?
Buktagoli Kithas. Is that right?
Octivel, once again.
Son lave Buktagoli Kithas.
Bukta kuoli kidas. You said like this, okay. Now yeah, exactly. Here we get suggestions that the second verb, we don't need to put that in person, because in as we also do in but here, as this is not a verb in English, so it's a little bit tricky, because then we put person on this one. So, but what we say here is like, if we translate it to he, it's approximately like he likes to bring a fish in the spring, which would be son liko, third person singular, buktit kuoli. Kuoli was correct here in the suggestion, accusative. And then either kidas would be in the spring in like a locative sense. Kidas, it doesn't sound right. We have to look at these, how we did with these to say, we could either use kidat, that is an adverbial form in the spring, or we could also use the genitive form kida. Did we mention it? Yes, here we have it. Dan dalvi, dan kida would be possible also. Dan kida, here it is. That this spring, it can also be an answer to when something happened. This spring, I'm not going south. Dan kida, monin mana luulas. But maybe when it's here in the spring, it's like about every spring. So maybe we should use this kidat adverbial form. Son lave buktit kuoli kidat. If we would have written son lave buktit kuoli kida. Dan kida. No, it doesn't really work together with he usually. So kidat is better. Son lave buktit kuoli kidat. So maybe we can try to read this poem now. It's called Dusche labordat idja. And what does, oh, here is not the word for the, it should have been also here. Dusche. Well, I put them later on. Anybody knows these words? Dusche labordat idja.
Only Saturday nights.
Yeah. Only Saturday night in singular, actually. It's only Saturday night, but maybe it could have been translated to nights, but it is only Saturday, meaning approximately it's only Saturday night. And it's Elle Maria Vars who wrote it, and it's got, yeah. Anybody of you who didn't read so much earlier wants to read it loud? Who is interested?
I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Aleberos, motia jääti chalmin. A moja haalan dusse. O kolea labordat itia.
Yeah.
Aleberos, o ko mun tu kietas dalan. Lea dusse danin. Ko lea labordat itia. Ale jahke, mu chappa sanite. Mun dusse elan. Ko lea labordat itia.
Yeah, good. Saanite, you should put the stress on saanite more
Okay,
than.
sanite.
Yeah, good. So did you get a feeling? Do you understand some of it, or can you help me translate here? Ale peros mu mojayeji chalmin.
Yes, don't worry, and motia smiling.
Yeah.
Is it that it is mojo halan dusse? No idea.
Yeah, we start we stop here first.
Okay.
There is like a dot there, even though it's not seen. This is like a second sentence, I would say. So we start with this, and perostit is such a verb that takes its object in locative. So in English it's maybe not locative, but here this chalmin is its object. So ale peros, don't worry about. Mu mojjayeji chalmin. What did you say for that? Did you have a suggestion? My smiling eyes. Exactly. Don't worry about my smiling eyes comes here as a suggestion. Okay, good. And in English, this eyes or so, this object is in accusative, isn't it? Like don't worry about me. It would be natural to say if we use a pronoun, and me is it called accusative? But here we have the locative form, locative plural. Okay, so then you can continue with this part. Mojo halandushe kole lavardat idja. Please, you come back again. And I don't know who you were.
Okay, I was Katrina, but
Okay. Can you try to translate these two lines, Katrina?
oh,
Mojo halandushe kole lavardat idja.
is it that I smile only because it's Saturday night. Or-
Very good, very good. I smile only because it's Saturday night. So don't care, don't. We were talking before the lesson. It came here a question about this perostit, how to translate it, to care or to worry or to take notice to. Maybe we could say to don't take notice to my, or don't. I'm not sure how to translate it the best way, but alle peros mojjayeji chalmin. Don't focus so much on my. Don't believe in my. Don't believe
Don't be
in my
fooled.
smiling.
Don't be
Don't be
fooled.
fooled by smiling eyes. Maybe it's not. Or pay no attention, or don't mind. Take no notice of my smiling eyes. Something like that. I'm only smiling because it's Saturday night. Okay. And then we continue with the next phrase. Ale peros ko montu kiadas toalan. Katrina, can you try to translate that one?
ele- don't worry.
Don't worry.
Worry. I am holding your hand.
Yeah, don't worry that I am holding your hand. Ko has many translations, but sometimes it can work with. It can be when something happens. Ko mon parkandien, but it can also be because. So or as. Don't worry as I hold your hand. Le dushe danin kole lavordat idja.
It's a yeah.
If we start,
Is it or maybe that is the case because it's Saturday night, or I am doing that only because it's Saturday night.
good. Yeah, it's only because it is Saturday night. Yes. And then the last lines here. Ale jahke mu chappasaanide. Ale jahke.
Yeah, I have no idea what's that. Yeah, but
Or-
don't something and my beautiful words or something.
Yes. Ale jahke. Jahkit is
Yeah, I don't believe. Okay. Don't believe my beautiful words.
don't believe my beautiful words. Mun dusche elan kole lavordat idja.
Yeah, and I only live
Yeah.
because it's Saturday night.
Yeah. Or when it's Saturday night. I only
Mhm.
live when
Ah.
it's Saturday night. It can be, or because it's Saturday night. It's possible both of them. Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was a. I'm not sure when Elle Maria wrote this, but Elle Maria is still today one of the poets here, but I don't know if she's published anything for a long time. She had this book called Katja, and she has written some novels that are famous. Kuovsaha, something about Kuovso, Idit Kuovso Rahkisvuotta or something like that. About, yeah, well-written books. So should we try a little bit diminutive? Diminutives, words with little added to the meaning, and sometimes it's little, and sometimes it can also be like dear, or in a do you want some, some in English, do you want some coffee? It's a kind of diminutive because you could say you want coffee, but then you want to try to make it a little bit smaller, the question, or you want to make it a little bit nicer, and then you say some coffee. Do you want some coffee? And this diminutive is a similar thing, that a little coffee. Do you want a little coffee? Maybe you can say that too in English, yeah. And we do it in Sami with the suffix esh that we put after the genitive. We put it to the word that we want to, for example, a substantive. So manna, child. When we add the esh, we use the genitive form manash, little child. Pena, meaning dog. And then when we add the esh, we use the genitive form pet nagash, little dog. And viesu, house. And here we use the genitive form viesu, but then the u gets shortened to an o, and then this o is making a umlaut in the first, a monophthongization. So it's visosh. So these words ending with a u are a little bit more difficult to make genitive compared to other because we also get this. Here is another example of such a word, vuallo, meaning button of your shirt or whatever, and it becomes bolos, little button in genitive. And what happens then? Yeah, we make a new word by derivation, and when we add one syllable, this esh is a new syllable. When we add it to the original word, the even syllable nouns become odd syllable nouns, because when it had two syllables here, like manna, but when we put it into with the esh, it's manash and manachan, and it gets an extra manacha. It becomes a three-syllable word. So therefore, we see here johka. We had johka, meaning river, and then when we make yogash, we get a three-syllable word, yogachat, small rivers. And behind this ash is actually a che, so it could have been written up here that the diminutive suffix is actually sorry, I have a little bit. Do I have what kind of Swedish, English, Norwegian, dear Sámi? There, it's actually an etch behind it, and the esh is just seen in the nominative, because it's you cannot end a word with the etch. So it's yoga chat becomes like this. The change esh to ched is because of the ending consonant rule. There was we went through already in first or second class that words in Sami could just end with L, R, S, N, esh. Yeah, how was it? There was like 7 letters. I try to jump up to them to see if I find them. I had a teacher in his surname was Larsson when he taught me this. So I learned that the consonant in Larsson, L, R, S, N, they were such consonant that it could end on, and then esh and something. Here. L, R, S, L, N, R, S, Esh, T. Esh and T also. Larsson and Esh and T. Yeah. That was just a way to remember. But it's here on sound laws that if there is a word ending in che, then we don't write it in nominative singular with a che, or in any form. But when it gets a vowel behind here, then it gets back this original sound that it has. So here is, and if the original word is an odd syllable, like pena, petnagat, dogs, then it becomes a even syllable again, because then it gets 4 syllables. It had 3 and now it gets 4. And then it's working a little bit different. Then it's got this it's the same sound, but when it comes in another place in the word, it gets another. The rhythm becomes, the stress becomes a little bit otherwise. So na gachi, and then we get a little bit more sound here than we had up here. Here it was only a yoga cha. It doesn't have any real stress here, but here it gets semi-stressed because it's the third peatna gachi, and therefore it's a double there. So this is the way. And also together many times, sometimes this can be on its own. Give the little child to me, but normally it comes together with this unna or uhtsa. Unna is more around here, the western area, and uhtsa is more eastern, I would say. So, and then, so do you have any special questions about this diminutive? It's not so easy, but I think you will learn it. Here we got a long comment about diminutive. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Here we make a derivation. We put a new sound to the word. What is it called? Agglutinating languages or something like that. There are some languages where you put. Yes. Which one are the agglutinating? Is Sami an agglutinating, or what it is?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When you put endings and so on and make difference instead of adding new words. But in English is then not so agglutinating, but I don't remember anymore what the other word was.
English is more of an analytic language.
Analytic language, okay. Or isolating here is a suggestion, okay. And here we get comments about Afrikaans. Okay, so you can also add G to an end of a word to make it little. The even and odd syllable thing is still really difficult for me. Yeah. In Irish is also probably diminutive. A name with diminutive, village. Yeah. Yes, you can say, for example, if somebody pussa. Does it have? Is it a word with two S? Pussa. Got the question here. Pussa. Is it with two or three? Just two. Okay, so then pussa. No, it's three. It's actually three S's in bussa. So it becomes bussash. Bussash. A little cat. It's bussa in nominative and bussash in, and Lasse. Yes, you can say Lassesh. Is bussa an important word from Scandinavian? Maybe possible from pussycat. Yeah, something like that. Puss or puss. Yeah, it should have a connection. Lassesh, or where somebody asked here about, can you put this to names also? And I guess you can doggy. Okay, you can in English you can use y in the end. Dog you make it doggy. Yeah. And the chain and line in German is, and Russian has a vast suffix system for diminutives. Yes. Now this odd syllable and even syllable, I think you will see it after a while, but maybe you don't need it. But yeah, maybe in some ways you will need it. Yeah, if you want to say like so you two are pregnant, or your wife is pregnant, maybe there will come a little whoever a little Peter in a few months. Then you can say Peteras. Maybe there will come a little Peter. Soita Peteras, Unna Peteras pohtit. I think that could be possible. But in English, you could say catty about a cat. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah. There's a mutation of the vowel cat, kitty. So kitty is a small cat. Kitten. Catty means to be rude. Lord. Okay, and today we also had planned to repeat the case commutative. We have already talked about it, but here is like a repetition of it. Commutative tells us with who or what something appears. Mun puhutaan mahtiin. I come with mahte. Amalet rehkinastan hadde koarnumin. With, for sure you counted with the price increase included. Hadde koarnumin. Do we have any other good examples for commutative that you want to, that you could write on the chat or say out loud, or any questions about commutative use?
Do you use commutative when you use some instrument or something like that?
Yes. It's a question of what verb you use. If you say mun juojahan gitarra, then I play the guitar. Then you use accusative and not the commutative. Mun juojahan gitarra. But then, of course, mun puhutaan gitarra, and I come with the guitar.
Yeah, I meant more like if you use something to do something in that sense, instrument. So.
Mun.
Don't think, Rune.
I shouldn't think what, or you say that you don't think.
No, sorry.
Njorkanas. We try some guitarra. Could you say a suggestion of how that would be? Was it Mauno who asked?
Yeah, it was me. Like this, what Carl suggests. I fix the machine with a tool, something like that. That kind of sentence.
I fix the machine with a tool. Mun divon machina neuvoin. Yes, it would be commutative. what would a tool be? Tavirin? No. Mon divon maskina skruven rodin, skruva rodin. How do you say that? Skruva rodin. Or I fixed the machine with something with a tool. Yeah. I think the question is about instrumental use, like hitting something with a stick. Yes. Mon Chapman so Bohtalin. I hit him with a bottle. On Chapman so Bohtalin. I hit him with a bottle. Sorry for the strange example, but yeah, with that's the way to use it. Yes, and we have essive also. Repetition here. We have been talking about essive before, and it's difficult to say, to translate essive, because in some situations essive is used and has one translation, and in another it can have another. But here in one of the standard phrases that you see in every study book, and also one of the most frequently used essive phrases is Elle baraka oahppolihttu. Ellen works as a teacher. Is that from Darwin? I don't know. It's in every book, I think. Could be, absolutely. Mannan ju liikojen laulut. As a child, or when I was a child, I liked to sing. You can also, of course, say it in other ways. Como legend manna, temon liikojen laulut. Como legend manna. And then you say it in the nominative. When I was a child, then I liked to sing. But you can also say mannan, as a child. Yeah, as it's written there. And it can also sometimes be used to answer the question when. For example, in connection to weather. Takka dalkin kal inmana kosake. When the weather is like this, I'm not going anywhere. Dalki is kind of a negative word meaning bad weather normally, and in such a bad weather, this is a essive phrase. Essive, it's put into essive by some reason. I think it's difficult to explain why it's essive there, but because I mean here you cannot translate it with as. but yeah, essive has a special role, and it has some different, like 3 or 4 different functions or so. Do you have any special? I'm not doing anywhere. Oh, not going anywhere. The weather being like it is, I'm not going anywhere. The being, yeah, maybe it's something like that. The weather being like it is. Yeah, maybe it's something with being could be understood. Here is a suggestion in the chat. I'm not going anywhere with the weather as it is. Yeah, maybe something like that. I'm not sure why, but it sometimes it's used like. Didn't we also have something? Yeah, she said, Risten said last week something similar to this. She said, arkapäivin, arakan, arka meaning every day, or this Monday to Friday. What was the English word? Weekday. On weekdays, arkan, mon parkan, maanait gardis. On weekdays, I work in the kindergarten. This is also on weekdays. I don't remember. She didn't say this, of course, but she said arakan. At least she had this as a. She put the word araga, meaning weekday. Like this she said, arakan monkoron. On a weekday I saw, and the word is arga, and she put it into essive to say that on a weekday. Here is a question. In a sentence like this, he has a knife in the hand. Which case for the hand and the knife? So the niipin kielaisiste. He has a knife in his hand. We start with he has a knife in his hand. I would start like that. Sus leniipi. And then in his hand, I would say kiedas only. Use the locative there. In the hand. This would not mean in his hand, but kiedasiste would be like inside the hand, too much inside of it. So kiedas would be enough. Suslanipi kiedas. And then we have these possessive suffixes that we didn't take now because they are difficult and they are not in the beginner's course, but I can tell you that there is a possibility if you want to say in his hand, if you want to add this, it's his hand, then you could say susle nipi kiedastis. That would mean in his hand. Then you add this is the second person, third person singular possessive suffix, meaning his hand. Yes. But this is very like literary, and this is not used. This is used for some words, for example, chat or ätnat, your mother, cheese, his father. There are some such words that are like normally used with this locative. With this possessive suffix, meaning that this is the same as saying susle nipi su kiedas. That is another way to say, of course, it's in his hand. Susle nipi su kiedas. but it's not necessary. So normally it's just susle kielas. He has a knife in the hand. Other questions or comments about essive or about cases in total? We have talked a little bit about about nominative, about genitive, accusative, illative, locative, and here is commitative, essive. Did we have something in the last session too about these cases? Repetition or no? But if you have questions, we can take it after the break also if you've come up with something. And after the break, we will also continue with these past tense that are similar letters, but they are a little bit otherwise because of the, yeah. Would you use the commutative for comparison, that is, as big as? No. Oh, so this was a question about commutative. Son lä storit ko mon. He is bigger than I am. Yeah, here comes a suggestion for the essive. Oatju lohkat muu suopmalatjan. Oatju lohkat muu suopmalatjan. You can count me as a Finn. You can call me a Finn. This word call is actually a good one. If we take the standard verb for call, gohtjudit, gohtjud, mon gohtjudan so, then you always take the essive. Mon gohtjudan sualo mahten. I call him always mahte. And together with this call verb, I call him always mahte. Then you put the, this is like an together with the verb gohtjudit, to call something or call someone, then you use the commutative. But we had a question about comparison and commutative. As Sonle story, come on, he's bigger than I am. That is not a commutative. Son lä mus storit. Mu storit. I think it is rather genitive. You can say he is bigger than I am also in it with the genitive. But how could you use the commutative? Muina. Muina. Yeah, you can use it at least in the muina samma stories. As big as I am. Same size as me. Muina samma agis. With me the same age. Muina samma agis. I think you can say like this. As old muina samma agis. Sonle muina samma agis. Sonle muina samma puores would be better. He is as old as I am, but he is the same age as, he's the same old as me. So the muina samma puores. Yeah, I think you can use commutative in some such sentences. I think the question was if you could or would you use commutative for comparisons. I think it seems possible when I think about it. Se on le muina samma vuodessa. Isn't that a comparison? Yes, with me. He is as old as I am. For Finnish speakers, the Sami essive seems to absorb both the na and xi endings of Finnish. That's essive and translative for the price of one. Okay, yeah. And in Finnish, there are also more cases than in Sami. So it makes sense that 2 cases in Finnish are in North Sámi 1. And we also have a situation where in Lule Sámi, for example, we call it the locative in North Sámi, but in Lule Sámi they use 2 cases, inessive and elative. I think they call it like that. So they have more cases in Lule Sámi than in North Sámi. And in Finnish there are even more, of course, than Lule Sámi. So now I think we take 10 minutes break and then we continue with past tense. 6 locatives in Finnish. Yeah, exactly. So they have more than 10 cases. Yeah. 6 locatives. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so 10 minutes break. See you again. Okay, welcome back. Here is the attendance check for this week, if you want to try it. And did you find out any more questions now on that you wanted to ask about some cases in North Sámi? The use of different cases. We can take it later. So I share, if you come up with something, I share the screen again, and here is the past tense for odd syllable words. Do you remember these verbs muistalit, läht, and halidit? To tell, to be, and to want. And do you remember what it was in first person present tense? I tell.
Muistalan.
Muistalan, good. And here you see that in past tense it's muistalin, I told. And do you remember how it was you tell?
Muistalat.
Muitalat in present tense, and it's muitalit. So instead of the A here, we have an E and an I. And the I is, you can say that the I is present in the I, or the E, and sometimes it's present in many of these forms. There is also the ut verbs don't have the I here in the past tense, but they have the O. But apart from that, there are I's in almost every kind of verb. So here we have 9 verbs, or we have a little bit more because we have some extra examples here on the even syllable verbs, but it would have been enough with 9 because it's only 9 different, it's 3 odd syllable and 3 syllable and 3 even syllable and 3 contract verbs that we need to see what kind of different endings we have here. And for you who said that these even stem and odd stem, odd syllable, that it's difficult. Of course, it's not necessary to learn them. You can learn these things by imitating all the time. But if you learn some like grammar, then it can be easier to feel free in that way, that you know it's like this when you do like that. And but sometimes also you of course you know wrong, you think you know, and then so it can also be a little bit scary to be too good at grammar. But normally it's very easy when you know a lot of grammar. And what about third person singular present tense? He tells me, son muistala. But here in the past tense it's muistali. And then we have we two told, muistaleime, muistaleite, you two told, muistaleika, they two told, muistaleimet, it's only to add a T, just an extra T to these forms, to these two at least, then you get the muista leimet, we told, and muista leitet, you told, muista ledge, they told, is a little bit different from muista leikka. It's not muista leikat. So legend, maybe we have had it in some poem somewhere. Legend, I was. Legend, you were. Lay, maybe we also have had lay. Sometimes it's written lay with the diphthong there. I think this is an old way of writing it, but some people still do. And it's not considered wrong, if I've understood right. Leime, we were. Leite, leikka, so I leikka, they were. Leimet, we were. Leitet, you were. Ledge, see ledge, they were. And here is a comment on the chat. Is this right? I wrote 2000. Well, yeah, it's approximately right, but Sani, you need to put Sani in genitive after these numbers. 2,848. Here I got a question on the chat. It was a little bit different from what I'm speaking about here, but it's 2,848 Sani. It's just always after numbers, except number 1. But otherwise it's genitive singular form after. Otherwise it was correct. Okay, the Monchallen, yeah, that was the question. Yeah, so that's correct. Challen is I wrote. My Charlime, mi Charlimet, si Challe, they wrote. Bodjat. Here when okay, we finished with these odd syllable. Now we start with even syllables. Here we have mannat, and if you remember, when we wanted to these even syllable verbs they have a grade they jump between the grades. So it's weak grade here in the present tense. Mon manan, I go. But in the past tense, we use the opposite. So it's mannen. It's even more clear than that there is a difference between mannen, I went, and manan, I go. And the same with manat, you go, and mannet, you went. And manai, he or she went, is manna. Here we in the present tense we go up to the stronger grade, but in the past tense we go in the opposite direction. That it's so we get a difference between the present tense manna and manai, he went. So here is, and it continues, the present tense is my manne, we go, but in past tense my manaime, we went. Manna behtet in present tense. No. Manna behti and manaite this is also NN, but of course this is so clear. It's big difference in the ending also. Manaika, manapa. And these ba and ka, people many times do wrong in these, at least orally. Some people always use the word, the ending pa. Even in the past tense, they say manai pa. Sai manai pa dohko. And they think that that is correct. But it's not considered correct in the written language. Manai met, we went, was in present tense mannat, and mannabetet, manaitet, you went, and then we have one here on the end that also is strong in simannet. They go, and simannet, they went. It's the same, is as strong in the past tense as in the present tense. And here is an example of an AT verb that has a diphthong in the start, so that you can see that this E also make a monophthong here. But here you didn't see it because mannat doesn't have a diphthong here in the start, so therefore it wasn't clear. Vojat, to swim. Mon I swim. Vodjen, I swam. Vojat, you swim. Vodjet, you swam. Is it swam? Vojat.
Delea.
There. Okay, kiitos. Vojja, he or she swims. Vojai. So we see here also the similar that the strong grade and the weak grade are always, one is, it's jumping between the two. Okay, yeah, and it works like this all the way. Challen, here's a it verb, challit, challen, challet, you wrote, Charlie, he wrote. Ellen, here if we have a diphthong in the start, the E's here and the double I's also makes the diphthong a monophthong. Ellen, I lived. Ellet, you lived. Eli, he lived. She lived. Elime, we two lived. Elite, you two lived. Elika, they two lived. Elimet. And here is in all forms, it's actually either I or e. So all of these forms are without the a in ellit. All of them have a long e in the start. Ellen, ellet, and so on. And orron, orrut is to stay or live. I mean to orrut, to live in like a house or a city. Oron koston orot. Where do you live? Orron, I stayed, and here we have also this O. If we have a diphthong like in chierrut, then we get chirron, I cried. Chirrot, you cried. Chieroi, she cried, he cried. Chieroimme, we too cried. Yeah. And this U is not making a monophthong here, but when the O comes there, we get a monophthongization. Just one of the vowels stay there. And then we come into the last group of verbs, and it's the conjunct. What did you call them? Contracted, we say, not conjugated. This is wrong. Contract, we call them. Contract verbs. Contract. I've been too. Sorry for that. It's wrong here. There are some contract verbs in the positive. Chohkayin, and here the J comes forth as it did in two forms in the present tense, in the dual and the third person, dual singular and dual first person, it says. Sorry. Chohkayit, you sat. Chohkai, she sat, he sat. Chohkai me, we two sat. Chohkai te, you two sat. Chohkai ka, they two sat. So you can at least see that the ka is here in these forms also. There are similarities. The ka is a little bit different when it's when it comes in another rhythmic situation after the third semi-stressed syllable. It is a little bit different, but otherwise it's similar with the ka only. Yeah. So maybe you can try. I think you understand the system approximately. Maybe I can put you into groups and you can try to make some sentences out of this. Try to make some sentences. Maybe also use some commutative and essive or other sentences, and maybe even try this diminutive. But try to in the start at least to yeah, you can choose, of course. And I mean, in a way, I called this extra study, so in that sense you wouldn't need to, but then maybe some of you are, of course, you want to learn. So if you want to try it, you can try it and try to make some sentences in the past. If you think that that was too difficult, you haven't learned the present tense yet good enough, then maybe you can try to look at the diminutive, because the diminutive is used quite frequently. Of course, the past tense is also used frequently. But is it a good idea to put you into groups and to try to make some sentences together? 2 and 2, or 3 and 3. Maybe I put you 3 and 3. Or do you just want to stay in this room and ask? I think maybe we should have some sentences ready for translation. Okay. I can try that. Then we can go through Facit afterwards. Okay. I didn't. How do I share screen? So then I didn't write any exercise here, but then we can write an exercise, of course. Exercise. Exercise. I went to London in April. You danced with another man yesterday. He sat by my side all night. Maybe that's difficult, all night. Should I translate that, or should you look? Maybe you can try. And then if we try to make some small, some diminutives. This is not a small book. I saw the little river. Yeah, if you start with these, if I send them on the chat, can you? Can you copy them and take you with you to the room where you go? Or I don't know how it works when you go to that room. If you can copy them and put them into some document. If you cannot see the chat, maybe you can see the chat when you go into the rooms. And then you can continue. Now you are 36 here. I put you into 18 rooms. And you can continue and make some other phrases too, some other things. Open all rooms. For 10 minutes then.
Wait, what's the illative of London?
Londoni.
Londony.
Yeah. Okay, so now I think you're all back. How was it?
Difficult.
Was it difficult,
Fun.
huh?
Fun and difficult.
Okay, good. Fun and difficult. Yeah, that's things we enjoy, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Well, are you ready to share your results or something like that? Okay, 2 sentences. Yeah, of course it takes time. Do you want more time or should we go together? Should I put you back into group rooms?
Let's do it together.
Together? Yeah, let's go together. Yeah. Restudy, yeah. So here was the questions in English. Do we have any suggestions? Anyone who want to try one of these sentences, for example, the first one? Here we have one suggestion on the chat. Mannen Londonis suonjumanos. And it's actually correct, but we also have another suggestion here. Mannen Londoni in locative, and that is also correct. Yes, both of them are correct. They have a slightly different meaning. I went to London in April. If you focus on the went there, I went there, then the illative is better. Mannen Londoni suonjumanos. I went there and maybe I haven't come back yet. I'm on Mannen Londoni. But if you were there just for a week, I visited London in Suonjumano. I went to London for a weekend in Suonjumano. Then this one is better. Mannen London is, because here you get a feeling that it's just for that you have been visited. You have been visiting there, London, and you have come home again. Like if you live in another place. Mannen London is 21. But normally together with mannen mannat, the illative is Mannen London is 20. No, but both of these are correct. Mannen London, yes. Okay, that's good. Good suggestions. What about this? You danced with another man yesterday. Do we have any? Dansigt era alla mein ikte. Wow, perfect. Dansigt. You could also add the pronoun there, ton dansigt era alla mein. When it's not so clear who is dancing with who, it can be good to focus that it was you who danced with. Ton dansigt nuppi diotuen. Yeah, we start with this one. Dansigt era alla mein ikte. That's correct, yes. We don't need the question mark, but the question mark was maybe for just asking, is this correct? Here we have another question, and it's ton dansigt nuppi diotuen ikte. This is almost correct too, but the problem here is that nuppi is one of those words that we want to put Yeah, on the chat here, I see that somebody asks, wouldn't it be natural also to put era in the commutative? Dan siet era in alla mein ikte. It's not so bad. Maybe it could be possible. Then it would be like you danced with another one, with a man yesterday or something like that. I think it could be possible, maybe with a comma or something. Dans i ett ära in all of my nikte. But I think when you want to put it together, dans i ett ära all of my nikte, then I think era is working like this, another man. But here with the nubbi, we have such a situation that we need to also conjugate the nuppin. De dansit nuppin deuduin ikte. We mentioned this in last lesson or 2 lessons ago, that there were here, I think. Together they can be, these daht kirji, they can be used to before daikun kirjikun, with these books, dan kirjis lesistolo. Here we have it, and then we also mention there are also some other pronouns that work in the same way with a special, such as nuppi, nuppi kirjille puoret, nuppi kuin saanikun. This nuppi is such a word that we put together. Those words are not so many, and here wasn't a total list of them. I think it's nuppi and one other or 2 others that follow, or maybe it's just nuppi. No, I think there are 2 or 3 words, and so question here, does that just apply to demonstratives? Yes, I think so. I think that is, you can say like that. So here, instead of just saying nubbi, like a constant adjective, nubbi teutuin, like here in era, we have like a constant adjective, if you can call it like that, that you don't need to, that you shouldn't put into the case here, the commutative. So, but this nubbi is a special word, and it's therefore this one would be better. Nuppin deuduin. Yeah, all of mine or deuduin, those are both good. So what about this third sentence? He sat by my side all night. How could we translate that into Sami? Any suggestions?
San chohkai mun mieltä oles ijan.
Yeah, good. Son chohkai, muu mielde, olles ia. We have some other questions here on the chat. Son chohkai muu baltas, oppa ia. Son chohkai muina, olles ia. Idja, no, not idja, but I put them in here so we can see them all. Son chohkai muu mielde olles ia is, as I see it, it's correct. Son chohkai muu baltas oppa ia. Here we have normally this word oppa, I've seen it 1,000 times written like this, but in the dictionary it's written like this or this, but this is such a word that even, yeah, you see it many times written out. So I would prefer to write it like this or to write it like this. Son chohkai muu baltas oppa ia. Yes, he sat by my side all the night. Chohkai muina olles idja. Alles idja. Idja is in nominative. Well, alles idja, all the night. Now, alles ia would be better when you talk about when he sat and for how long. Here you talk about for how long, so I think it's the accusative actually. The genitive would be when he did it, but here this is also ia. Se on tjohkai muu peallai. Muu peallai olles ia. Maybe se on tjohkai muu peallai. Muu peallai. I'm not sure about that one. Could that be used? Paltas is more standard, or muu peallai. Pelli. Pelli. Okay, pelli is of course side. Pelli. But no, there is something a little bit. It's not side in every. Pelli. Pelli means side in many situations, but yeah, I think it's pellde. No, pellai. Pellai is a locative also. So if you sit, it would be on tjohkai muu pellde. I would say in locative rather. Paldas, yes, paldas is good as here, but on tjohkai muu pellde. So tjohkai muu pellde olles ia. This would be correct, but this would mean like he sat on my side of the muu pellde of the room. On my side of the room. Muu pellde olles ia. So tjohkai muu pellde. This would be correct, at least that you sit in the locative. Because pellai would be, but then again it's a little bit like this Londonis and Londoni that you could almost choose to say tjohkai muu pellai. He came and sat at my side, like maybe it could be okay. Tjohkai muu mielde gechos ia. Very good, very good. Even better, but a little bit more, maybe even more Western than here. Gechos ia is all the night. In, for example, Jukkasjärvi, Sámi, and a little bit more. Gechos ia. Very good, very good. This is not a small book. Taht ilet kirjas, taht ilet kirjas. Yeah. Taht ilet kirjas, taht ilet kirjas. And
Taile unagirias.
yeah, tahilet unnakirjas. That would absolutely be tahilet unnakirjas. Yeah, it's good to have the unna there to stress that it's talk about a small book. Taht ilet kirjas, taht ilet mihki kirjas, taht ilet kirjas. I'm thinking of if there is something lacking here when you just say the kirjas, taht ilet mihki kirjas. This is not just a small book, taht ilet kirjas. No, but it's correctly at least, but taht ilet this and taht ilet kirjas, that taht ilet kirjas, taht. It's not so marked. It's not like this book. It's more like taht ilet kirjas. That is not a small book. But unna or uhtsi kirjas, yes. Both of them are good. Unna or uhtsi kirjas. Tahilet uhtsi kirjas. Tahtilet unna kirjas. Yes, it's good. What about I saw the little river? We have any?
Oitnen unna jogas.
Almost correct. the last word you have to think about the case.
Oinen jokaisa.
Yeah. Mon oinen una yoga cha in accusative. Well, good. Oinen yoga cha. Very good. Oinen yoga cha. I saw a small river. You don't need here. You don't need the locative. The unna. I think. Oinen unna yoga cha or oinen yoga cha. What about? I wanted to go to London in April, but I didn't go. Anybody here? Halidin mannat Londoni. Tuonyo manos mohto in mannen. This one we need to put out. It's mannan actually. Mannen is I went, but when you make a negative, mannen is I went, but when you make a negative out of it, you say in, and then you use the perfect participle, and the perfect participle of mannan is mannat is mannan. So here it mannan. You didn't go. We didn't talk so much about it today because the negative we have already talked about here, up here somewhere when we presented the perfect participle.
I have a
But now,
question.
sure.
So is the only difference between the negative past tense and negative perfect tense is that in the perfect tense you would have inlet mannen?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thanks.
Very good. And the last sentence before, we have one minute until 7 here in Sápmi in Norway. They told me he has a girlfriend. How do we say that? Anybody? Any suggestions? They told me. How do we say that? They told me. We had it up here somewhere. They told me. Which one of these 9 is they told? Si muistelet munje. Yes, good suggestion. Si muistelet munje. And what did they tell me? He has a new girlfriend. Maybe you should have put the has in English here, like they told me he had a new girlfriend. Maybe you follow the tempus here, like told and then had, like we do in Swedish, but I'm not sure. But this is at least the Sami way to say the next. Ahte susle oda marsi perfect. Si muitale gemunya. Ahte susle or muitale gemunya susle oda marsi. Here is also an example suggestion. Si muitale gemunya ahte susle oda marsi perfect. Ahte means that. At in Nordic languages. Muitale gemunya susle oda marsi. This one is also correct. Very good. So good work. We continue next Tuesday at 5 at the same time with the last lesson. Have a good week and thank you for today. You were very good. Very good. All these sentences. Nice work. Kiitos.
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 Ulogito.
Kiitos. What was I was going to